All right then, Luke McEvoy, public enemy number one. If he and Dave Halliday are to win this match, and it is completely not outside the realms of possibility that they do, they are in this position already for a reason. They've won one and drawn one of their matches so far. Luke McEvoy's break is going to have to start showing up. It's been dry a lot tonight. Well hit. Though. Yeah, it's been well hit, but it hasn't showed up. That is the best he's hit tonight, and it's his best result tonight by a million miles.
What a chance this is just to settle themselves down and go about a break finish. In this sort of situation, the first finish is always the big one. If you can get off to a strong start when the draw is good, then it just settles you in. First shot here might be tough. If they wanted reds, I think red's probably the easier finish, but they don't have an opener. Well, other than the hampered queuing, which are not likely to take on. Yellow underneath the cue ball now is the tough one. It's very well guarded by the red. But they can land on the one to bottom left, the one next to the red. Get on the one to left center. That gets them to the left side cushion, which gets them on the one at the top of the table. Off angle here, going away from their work. Place for the one left center now. And they weren't on it. Oh, they've been very lucky here. Very lucky to block off the red top left and the red lower down the table. But Phil and Cam will be happy to get to the table because that was a good chance. They just couldn't find the pattern. Match play. Yellows are a mess. Throw another yellow into a horrible position. No fear of the loss of turn at the top of the table. That's not on. That just opens up the red. Are they forcing the hand of Cam and Phil? Cam immediately has a look at the red next to the yellow, because if that goes, then there's no debate. You just go. But I think they have to go anyway. It's just one cannon if it doesn't go or get short side. It looks like it might go, though. It looks tight, but... if they have to play short side of that ball, I'm playing a plant here, which sends the red across the table. It doesn't go as far across as I thought it might. Might have helped them get the short side position. That looks a little short. Well, and that tells us this red goes, because that's what he's played on.
Yeah, couldn't have played on it more precisely. But you can tell by the way he looked at it, this is tight. Yeah, just avoided the jaw. Nice.
That was a little fortunate for Phil. Could have gone wrong with the flick. It's okay.
Parts of the pocket. Bad news for Luke McEvoy and Dave Halliday. Wonderful news for pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the 6-red shootout, and I can't remember if it was last year or the year before that Phil, I think it was last year, Phil and Cam lost in the 6-red shootout because they hit their final shot as the ball was still moving, and it took an eternity for VAR to figure it all out, and slowed right down to every single frame to see it. It was a tough loss for them on that night. And they may be putting themselves back in for more heartache or more joy. A long way to go yet, though. 14 minutes.
That is, well, not dry. I was about to say dry, and then one dropped in right at the last. Even Luke McEvoy was even out of his chair here, I think. Yellow top right, just about dies its way in.
It should allow Cam to get reds. I'm assuming the yellow right at the top of the table doesn't pass the 8-ball, and therefore yellows are awful. Even if it does pass the 8-ball, I mean, you're not getting on it. So if you take reds, then you either have a chance to go for the finish, and it's not a bad chance either, or you can control the frame, depending on how it unfolds. But the one on the top cushion is the tricky ball, but you've got the one on the left-hand side that you take up past the 8-ball that gets you on those two at the top. So these are actually there. The connections are good. The way this is set up, play on the one on the left-hand side now. He's a little straight on it, but I think you can use the yellow and get up there. Yeah, you can. You can even use the yellow. So he just rolled a fraction past the straight, or a fraction too far past the straight. The straighter the better, because you can control yourself onto those two reds. I don't think, I was trying to work it through and thinking, does leaving the other red alone in the middle of the table cause you a problem? But I don't think so. He was okay. A bit of running side, played it beautifully. And the reason I don't think the red in the middle of the table is a problem is because you have to leave a low angle on that red, so the cue ball is going to track down the table. Yes, it would be easier not to play on that red and just play on the 8-ball, but not the end of the world.
That's a very, very good shot. That's a very good shot. Full round of applause from the farmer in his chair. Which must be, by the way, just the most unbelievable buzz to get Phil Harrison clapping your finish and your shot. That is quite the badge of honour for Cam Tolley right now. And he and his partner, Phil Harrison, are 2 frames from sending us to a 4-way 6-red shootout. I feel like we're being edged tantalisingly close, Si.
We're already 2 frames from it not happening as well. 2 slow frames to those 2 men on the screen right now. Draw's good enough for them. They shouldn't give up hope here. I was just thinking when Cam made that finish under so much control that it's a shame we don't see him on the Pro Tour anymore. He's made a couple of finishes tonight that have just looked absolutely under complete control, under time pressure. That one wasn't time pressure, just, you know, obviously situational pressure, but brilliant clearance earlier on when he needed it most. And yeah, great player. And now Phil Harrison has the opportunity to follow with a reverse clearance. Looks like he needs one cannon on reds, but the red might go. There's a red and yellow that have come together on the right-hand side. I don't think you can get to the potting angle. No, you can't. So you'd feel like you need one cannon there. Can make the case one cannon on yellows as well. That's what Phil's looking at. And goes yellows because he could see the cannon straight away. Knew he had two balls actually. Where he's put the cue ball, he's got two ways of going into it. The one that is most obvious is the one he's nearest to, or the one to bottom right that he's nearest to. Also got the one on the bottom cushion, so he was putting it in an area where he was going to have a couple of choices. Whereas the reds, it wasn't obvious which way was the best to get to it. And the other thing is, what he knew when he was playing the cannon, he was likely to be knocking that yellow towards a pocket. Hasn't come out exactly as he was planning, but he's on the yellow to left centre, which gets him up the table, deal with the two at the top, and then come back down. Straight's not ideal. Does he have enough angle? I think he's got enough to make it, enough to work with. Just catch a little bump of the centre pocket, just enough to change its path. It's not absolutely ball in hand perfect, although Phil's not giving his normal head shake for landing awkward.
Yeah, if he's not shaking his head, he really is perfect. Usually if he's shaking his head, he's ball in hand. But he seems pretty happy to me.
Yeah, he's happy now. I wasn't sure he could hold that for the one in the centre. But he obviously could easily.
Am I allowed to get excited yet, Si?
You certainly are. It's incredibly likely now, isn't it? I mean, 2 balls away from 3-0.
It's odds on.
So calm and composed from both Phil and Cam. Excellent clearances back to back. They were on the brink. I mean, they're not just on the brink, they were on the motorway home. They were so far gone, weren't they? I mean,
absolutely.
At one stage, Joe and Michael were 2-0 up. And Michael was at the table. It was a double, a long shot. In terms of he had to develop 2 balls, pot the 8 ball at a turn, and that's changed everything. But at that 2-0 point, you're thinking, well, we know where tonight's going, and it's completely turned around.
Cue ball stays up, and that yellow tickles in to the top left corner, and Cameron Tolley has a chance to get it done in 1, and he's got Phil Harrison alongside him for this frame.
He's done Luke McEvoy twice here. Twice Luke McEvoy has taken a step out of his chair on the Cam Tolley break, thinking it's going to be dry, and then the last ball rolling has fallen in, and he's got to sit back down. And these yellows are lovely. Just has to land on the yellow. That's where Cam was pointing. Just has to land on that yellow, let the cue ball fall down naturally, and then these connect really nicely. Only thing you'd say, they're on the yellow on the bottom cushions now, their last ball. Unless they play down for it now, which might be the way. Too far up the table. I think they may well have been thinking that last ball, because if they get on that one at the bottom, then they are where they are now, and then they're getting on the 8 ball a little bit easier. But now they've just got to avoid getting on a mistake getting onto the 8 ball. Oh, Cam's gone too far. Snookered. Bending it. Calm as you like, Phil.
He is wonderful. Well, don't go anywhere, folks. Do not go anywhere. They are just about on this 8 ball. I think it cuts. It's going to need to.
I'm not sure it does.
No, not done just yet.
340. Counter clearance required, and quickly. Remember, the draw's good, so 3 frames in 3 minutes 40. Well, that's the end of that. Start getting yourself ready for the 6-red shootout.
There we have it. There we have it. Concession in. Strap in, everybody. It's 4-way 6-red shootout time. Here we go then. The world's first ever 4-way 6-red shootout. Winner goes to the last 16 of the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. Joe Prince and Michael Hope to go first. 6 red balls, quickest time wins. Cue ball and object ball must be stationary. There can still be balls moving, and this is a tricky one to do good on.
It was not a good break. In fact, it was a very poor break. He had to wait a long time, and then the red's gone onto the cushion as well.
If it wasn't for that red on the cushion, they'd be banging business. They still may well set an exceptional time, although that miss and that cue ball will add 5 seconds, and they are now really out of it. They should be, at least. It's a very, very good time considering a lot of things there, but it's in the low 30s with the 5-second penalty for the in-off on the cue ball.
I wondered whether they were going to take a look at the first shot as well. That was awfully close. I think it was okay, but I thought they might take a look at it, but it doesn't look like they will. But that one's going to be a long way out of it.
Here it is. Here's the first shot coming in. This is off the break. I can tell you our referee and timer from the IRO analysing this footage to see if all is okay. If it is, it will be a 5-second penalty for the in-off on the cue ball. If it isn't, it'll be a 10-second penalty for 2 fouls. All eyes are on that red, and I've just heard confirmation that referee Orich Tesco is signalling soft signal, 2 fouls. Just having one more watch of this to confirm.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
And it will be 2 fouls, so plus 10 seconds to the time, which all but, I mean, barring the most crazy of crazy circumstances, that eliminates Michael Hope and Joe Prince.
I was going to put them up near the 40-second mark. They might as well pack the queue up and start heading home. There's no chance of that holding up.
Make sure he remembers his cue, though.
Make sure he remembers his cue.
So 40 seconds flat to beat. It's a very, very good break. This could be a quick time.
Just took a few extra seconds there on that first shot, did Cam. That was a good decision.
Don't miss, and they're in for a great time here.
Cuba's got to run a little bit on this one, but Phil should be in position.
It's going to be around about that 23-second wheelhouse. Phil Harrison makes sure and sets a very, very good time indeed. 24.08 to beat. Luke McEvoy and Dave Halliday. That's a decent break, can go quick here right from the gun.
Yeah, it maybe took the wrong ball there because it was going to have to wait a long time for the cue ball. Now they're behind, and they've got to wait for the cue ball again. And again.
It's not the miss that will hurt them, it's the movement of the cue ball. Now they can speed, and they have to. But they're going to be long. They are going to be over the time. So Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley have the opportunity here to round about the 30-second mark for Luke McEvoy and his uncle Dave Halliday. It's not to be for them tonight. They exit the competition via 6-red shootout. And here come the two happiest boys in the house. They're the happiest to be here, you feel like, after the way their night started. And in the middle section, they will be over the moon to be in this position right now with 24 seconds to beat. And remember, they got here in the first place, winning a qualifier in J-Max in Ireland with 2 6-red shootouts through the weekend. Stephen McGurn on the break. It's a very, very soft one.
Could have wasted a shot there when it didn't open up like they wanted. They could have wasted one there.
Does anything go to the middle? It does. Oh, I tell you what, this may just open up, you know. This may just open up. Need both to go back to back.
Oh, the cue ball's going to run too much.
It's really close. It's really close, but I think it's not enough.
Yeah, it's too
much. I think
much.
Cameron Tolley and Phil Harrison have done it. They don't know yet. They feel like it was too close to call. Phil can't even look.
It's the last shot that they're going to review. This one here.
Well, I can confirm the time has been told in my 25:52. It will be second place. We can tell you the winners of tonight are Phil Harrison and Cameron Tolley. Here comes the news, and there is the celebration and a hug shared between Cameron Tolley and Phil Harrison. Handshakes all around, and an extraordinary night here in Newcastle under Lyme. We will hear from Cam and Phil when we return in a sec.